for waiting and a very warm welcome. My name is Aishwarya, and let's get started with our first keynote address of the day. Join me in welcoming Mr. Sagan Subraj, Director of Technology, Target, sharing his insights on building an inclusive cybersecurity culture. Welcome, Mr. Sagan. Over to you. Yes, Mr.
Hey, Aishwarya, give me a second here. I'm trying to get the screen shade. There we go. Can you see my PPT, Aishwarya? Can you hear me fine?
Hi, Visagan. You can put your presentation in a slideshow mode and
Okay.
then it'll be visible.
Is the slide visible, Jatin?
Not really. I mean, if you can click on the presentation and do it in a slideshow mode, you may not be able to see the platform, but you can just see your presentation right on the screen.
I've got the presentation on my screen. I hope you all are able to see it.
No issues. So what you can do is you can end the screen sharing and we
Okay.
can redo the thing. Yeah. Can you open the presentation first?
Yep, we've got it.
Sure. Now click on share. There is an application tab, or maybe you can share your screen also, but you can put your presentation first in the slideshow mode.
Yep, I got it. Uh, all right, give me a second here. Getting it to
Sure,
work.
no worries. What we can do is I
Mm-hmm.
have your presentation.
Yep,
I can
let's
run
get
it for
started.
you.
Yep,
Yeah, I can run
we'll do
it for
that.
you. You can give me a cue and we can proceed like that.
Sounds like a plan.
Sure. Just a second.
I'm ready when you're, Jatin. I see the deck. I'm good to start, Jatin.
Yes, Visa, you can start the presentation and give me a cue.
Yep, all right. Good morning, everyone. I'm Visagan. I help lead the cybersecurity team for Target in India. Target is a Fortune 50 US retailer with more than 1,900 stores across the United States. Target caters to our guests, and that's how we call our customers, in areas as broad as groceries, electronics, apparels and accessories, kids, fashion, and much more. Target, if you can move to the next slide, Jatin. Target today is in the winner's circle. In the retail space in US, Target continues to expand and grow. Last year in 2020, we saw a growth of close to 15 billion in revenues. We continue to expand our stores presence across US by opening more stores. Our digital sales grew by 10 billion last year, contributing by our industry leading same day services. At Target, it is very important for us to focus on our only a singular priority, and that is to delight our guests every time they shop with us. Equally important is our ability to delight the team members who embark on their career journeys with us. In fact, it is very important that everything that we do is connected to our purpose, which is to help all families discover the joy of everyday life. We focus on helping our team members to serve and fulfill this purpose that we work for. We invest, enable, support our team members to fulfill this promise. We also make sure that this investment extends into a culture so that it helps our team members grow and contribute to our purpose. Our purpose, our investments, our culture, everything connects to our in technical technology teams and our security engineering teams. If you can go to the next slide, Jatin, and to the next slide, please. When I spoke about this purpose being connected to our technology and security teams, I want to spend a little bit of time on helping you understand how at Target, cybersecurity is a collective responsibility. Connecting to the theme of my keynote, at Target, our team members are our biggest strength when it comes to our ability to fight or ward off cybersecurity threats. This inclusive culture is a result of multiple years of effort that we have put in building this culture. It didn't happen overnight. It goes back to 3 to 4 years back, where we intentionally invested in making our team members our biggest allies when it comes to defending and for cybersecurity or defending our organization. And I want to kind of spend a little bit of time helping you all understand how we went about that, what are some lessons learned, and what are some things I could share as best practices. If you could move to the next slide. So when I look back, why our team members had a lot of pride, passion, and accountability when it comes to cybersecurity, there are a few things that stood out very clearly, and that's what you see on this slide here. It it starts with our relentless focus on education and awareness, our ability to empower our team members, and most importantly, building inclusive, smart, and diverse teams within Target. And I'll kind of talk about each one of them in a little bit of detail. If you can go to the next slide, Jatin. Education and awareness is central to everything that we do from a cybersecurity standpoint. And that's true for Target, that's true for any organization that wants to focus on education and awareness. At Target, we kind of go a little beyond the traditional classroom trainings or an online tutorial or a lengthy multi-page document. The reason we believe every organization should go beyond this is in today's day and time, traditional ways of education and awareness can only do so much. It's important to be creative, engaging, and enticing when it comes to educating your team members and making sure that they're able to learn, practice, and implement that in a day-to-day life. And I'll touch upon some of those key learnings that has worked for us. If you can go to the next slide, Jatin. First, I think at Target, we put a lot of emphasis on gamification, that is, helping our team members embracing the cybersecurity learning in a fun way. Again, connecting my earlier point, it's important that you go beyond classrooms and find unique, engaging ways to connect with your team members and help them embrace cybersecurity. If you can go to the next slide, Chetan. One of the things that we tried in last year, which was an overwhelming success, is our escape rooms. We had more than 1,500 team members try this concept, and with the whole world going virtual and everyone was connected from homes, it became a great bonding exercise for our teams to get together and learn cybersecurity in a fun way. And you should see the energy that comes in when all of a sudden you're going from a classroom and you're putting your team members in simulated experiences where they have to provide their knee-jerk reactions to cybersecurity threats. It is empowering, it is educating, and it sticks with them a lot of times better than your classroom trainings. If you can go to the next slide, Jatin. We also focus on continuous learning and educating our team members. Cybersecurity is not like a weak activity, send a few phishing emails and then hope everybody learns. There needs to be constant engagement, practice, and reinforcement. Like all organizations, Target also does phishing campaigns all through the year. But where we kind of go the extra mile is when we try to extract data and metrics from our phishing campaigns and then go back to these teams and say, hey, your teams have done this well, and this is something we would like to see you improve. And the other thing that we do really differently is once our team members are able to catch the easy fishes, we go and provide them more tricky ones. So that's the idea of constantly reinforcing, raising the bar to make sure that your teams are continuously learning and understanding the evolving threats in the cybersecurity landscape. If we can go to the next slide. We also focus on a lot of big events. For instance, in October, we have an event that we call as OXAM, which is October Cybersecurity Awareness Month, which is an entire month invested into educating our entire organization about cybersecurity risks and best practices. And it's important as for us as a retailer because that's right before our peak season, and we would like to see our team members have heightened awareness when it comes to cybersecurity. If you can go to the next slide, Jatan. We typically run the cybersecurity carnivals all year, and you'll see a lot of buzz, energy, and engagement. And it's also important that when we do this in a fun, trivia, quiz based manner, people throng there and try and enjoy this experience. What's unique and successful for us at Target is we were seamless in our ability to shift this in an online mode. For the last 2 years, like everyone else, we have remained remote. But where we have succeeded really well is our ability to lift and land all content that we have built into a virtual first platform so that our team members enjoy the same experience. In fact, this pandemic has allowed us to move everything virtual where we are able to engage and connect with our team members much more efficiently because there is more handshakes, more imprints, more engagements. And the cool thing about virtual mode versus a physical carnival is you're able to do that or give them their experience where they can do that in their own convenience, at their own schedules, at their own pace, and you're still able to make a lot of difference. We can move to the next slide. When I spoke about why learning has to be different and important, it's also important to understand that we are living in a world that everything is coming through via emails as education. So you'll have to be a little more creative to look at what works with our team members, with our employees when it comes to cybersecurity education. At Target, we follow this idea of a bite-sized learning. The idea here is to have focused 3 to 4 minutes videos that emphasizes on key aspects of cybersecurity. And for example, we did secure work from home, safe social media guidelines. These are easy, relatable training modules that doesn't ask you to carve out 40 minutes of your day to learn, but you just have to spend 3 to 4 minutes. And believe me, it sticks with you, right? And that's another way to do that. Lastly, if you can keep going, Jatan, a culture of rewarding. It is very important that you help your team members or the employees of your organization feel proud and happy about doing the right thing. And that can be by giving out goodies when they participate and show the right security mindset, or that could be at Target, we give some badges. We call that as hi-fi badges, which basically helps people show it off saying that, hey, I've been a great security champion and this organization is recognizing me. One other way that we do that very differently at Target, if Jatin, you can go to the next slide, is the concept of security ninjas. Security ninjas are developers, infrastructure specialists that work in different teams at Target, but we identify them because they show potential and promise when it comes to security acumen. Once we identify them, we educate them, we give them access to our tools, we invite them to conferences like this to help them embrace security more deeply. When they're able to do that, they go back to their respective product development teams and make sure that they give the right security advice. They are our strongest advocates and ambassadors when it comes to security. Today at Target, we have more than 200 ninjas across our organization helping propagate this culture of security. And the best thing for us is these ninjas sitting in different product and development teams make sure that security is table stakes when it comes to pro- developing or building any products at Target. If we can go to the next slide, Jatin. A good inclusive cybersecurity culture is not possible if you cannot empower your team. Empowerment is key because you're making your team members your biggest line of defense. And we do that in few different ways at Target. If you can go to the next slide, Jatin. We start off with having a feature in our Outlook mailbox where you provide a button where people can easily identify and report a phish or a suspicious email. And this is a small gesture, but imagine the power of everybody watching out for a suspicious email and to be able to report it that allows us to swiftly get into action and remove traces of this email outside of our network or outside of our team member mailboxes. If you can go to the next slide, we also focus on a lot of self-service capabilities. I'll give you two examples. At Target, while we have some vendor-based um, vulnerability scan tools, on top of it, we built a self-service capability where our team members, our developers, our infrastructure and database partners can go and run scans on servers, infrastructure, databases, apps whenever they want. And they don't have to chase down a security person to run a scan. They're able to remediate it. And they can also run a validation scan to make sure that their systems are secure and compliant. Another example of how powerful your team members can be if you can enable them. We also have built a malware scan API, a self-service scan API, where when our teams engage externally with our vendors, our partners, they're able to scan files before moving them inside the network. Yet another example of empowering your team. If you can go to the next slide, Jatin. None of this is possible, education and awareness or empowerment, without having the right team in place. When I say team, I'm not talking about just the cybersecurity team, I'm talking about the entire organization. It is important that you build a team that is empowered, educated, and inclusive. We are very particular about inclusivity and diversity at Target, and it is the right thing to do, but it's also an important aspect because we want to represent the communities that we serve, and that is possible only if you're intentional about building inclusive teams. If you can go to the next slide. So at Target, we obviously focus uh, heavily on our gender diversity, especially bringing in women within our organization. And we also heavily partner with industry bodies like DSCI to make sure that we propagate this culture and lead as a champion when it comes to gender diversity. And the power of diversity is magical. When you have diverse and inclusive teams, they're able to build solutions that can scale, that represents our customers, and that are very efficient and relatable to our organization. If you can go to the next slide, Chetan. At Target, it's also important for us to focus on innovation and learning. In fact, it is at the heart of everything that we do. Um, at Target, our leadership has a idea of 50 days of learning. All our tech, data science engineers and analysts are allowed to spend almost a day every week in learning. That learning could be attending a conference like this, participating in a demo day, participating in a hackathon, or going on and doing an online course that you're passionate about. This constant and continuous investment in our learnings pays us rich dividends because our team members come back with a wealth of knowledge, both from a cybersecurity and engineering standpoint, and help solve the problems that our businesses want us to solve. One good example that I can share here today is the innovation that we did within the security engineering team. Jatin, if you can move to the next slide, is when this opportunity of learning and innovation became available to our security engineers, they came up with the idea of building a Fingerprint ID solution, which helps our team members log in to our systems in a seamless, frictionless way. What started as a prototype went on to get industry certified because we built it on the open standards of FIDO. And today it's an enterprise rollout touching more than 50,000 team members, uh, elevating 80,000 logins per day. And the most cool thing is, this is a future our team members at our stores love because we are able to use it seamlessly and focus on what matters to them, which is serving our guests better. Just the power of innovation and how it will allow you to do this. If you can focus on, again, empowering, educating, and making sure that you have inclusive teams. As I come to the end of my presentation here, I want to summarize it for you. As organizations, it's important for you to look at more creative ways of educating your people, making sure you have a relentless focus on continuous education and looking at your team members or the employees of your organization as your biggest strength. As more and more our organizations are going into the online world, your teams can be your first line of defense. And if you have a strong first line of defense, half the battle is won. Thank you for listening in.